is the early 3rd century BC, and the military prestige of the Greek successors has reached its zenith in the person of King Pyrrhus of Epirus. But the fledgling state of Rome is trying to secure her supremacy on Italian soil. The two cultures are about to clash at Asculum in southeast Italy. After a day of inconclusive fighting in the forests and hills, Pyrrhus maneuvers the Romans into a head-on battle where his forces must win the day. Elephants and phalanxes against the legions of Rome. Can the Romans hold the field against the best Greece has to offer, or will they crumble and flee? King Pyrrhus's life is an epic tale of his rise to power, of tragic loss and outrageous misfortune. So much so that his name gives us the saying, Pyrrhic victory. He won a victory against Rome in 279 BC, but at an enormous, almost crippling cost. That was 7 years ago. Now Pyrrhus has raised a mighty army to take Greece, and after some early success, he heads to the city of Sparta, the home of the heroes of Thermopylae. Word has reached Pyrrhus that Sparta is ill-defended. King Arius of Sparta and many of his best warriors are away fighting in Crete, and only a small force is present. What better time is there to attack? A city with most of its army away on campaign is an easy target. Little does Pyrrhus know, but even a handful of Spartan youths and Helot slaves can put up a heroic struggle. And what is more, reinforcements are on their way. Pyrrhus must take the city now, and take it quickly. 225 BC, and the bloody First Punic War is at an end. Rome now expects little resistance as she uses her might and influence. The mere sight of her armies quashes any signs of opposition. Peace, however, never seems to last. Gallic tribes and mercenaries have marched from Transalpine Gaul into Etruria through an unguarded pass in the Apennines. To meet this invasion, the Romans have called on resources and manpower from across central and southern Italy. A powerful defensive force has been rapidly mobilized. They have outmaneuvered the Gauls, forcing these barbarians towards the Tuscan coast. Meanwhile, a second Roman army has landed at Pisae. The Gauls now have no line of retreat. They are surrounded, trapped. Assailed from both sides, the Gauls must fight for their very existence as a free people. Their only hope for survival is to quickly defeat the Roman forces in front of them. And then turn to deal with the Romans approaching from the rear. Or their defeat is certain. The River Trebia, 218 BC. Having sworn an oath at his father's deathbed, the young Hannibal Barca, general of the mighty Carthaginians, sets out to destroy the Romans. Having lost many men marching across the freezing Alps, Hannibal gathers the survivors and prepares to face the might of Rome. His forces are no match for the Roman legions. Hannibal must use the element of surprise if he is to have a chance. He hides his finest cavalry in the forests, and then sends his Numidian mercenary cavalry across the river to lure the Romans into the trap. The Romans take the bait and chase the Numidians back across the freezing river. And the scene is set for Hannibal to stage his ambush. Timing is crucial. If his cavalry charge too soon, they'll be isolated and cut down by the Roman infantry. If they charge too late, the Carthaginian front line will buckle before the Roman advance. Hannibal also knows that he must use his elephants to create fear and terror. Failure to use these two key units to maximum effect will spell disaster for Hannibal's campaign against Rome. Rome is not the only power rising along the shores of the Mediterranean. Another people, the Carthaginians, have imperial ambitions. Their empire is growing in Spain, even as the Romans secure the Italian peninsula. For Rome, Caius Flaminius has been sent north to deal with the Carthaginian problem. And it is a problem. Hannibal Barca, the greatest Carthaginian general ever, is on the march. He swore an oath to his dying father that he would never give the Romans a moment's peace. Hannibal has already kept his oath at Trebia. After that victory, he forced the Romans back onto the defensive. Now, with his army at Lake Trasimene, Hannibal plans to lure another Roman army into a brutal ambush. He has every reason to hope the Romans will cooperate in their own deaths. The Romans quickly move to meet the obvious threat from Hannibal's men. Unaware of the danger, Flaminius orders his leading units to attack. Hannibal springs his trap. His waiting troops are ordered to attack the unprepared Romans. The Carthaginian plan is to sweep down on the Roman flank and drive their enemies into the icy waters of Lake Trasimene. Only courage and Roman discipline will save the Roman army. The legionaries must turn and face the oncoming Carthaginians and keep themselves from being surrounded. It is more than a century since the death of Alexander the Great. His glorious empire has shattered into a number of warring successor kingdoms. In Egypt, Pharaoh Ptolemy IV is a Greek ruler on the Egyptian throne. He has not been a loved or respected ruler. He is so popular that his generals and governors have gone over to the rival Seleucids. The Seleucid king, Antiochus III, has designs on the border region of Cilicia recently taken by Ptolemy. It is spring, in 217 BC, and the confrontation is nearing a climax. With Egypt weakened by defections, Antiochus has marched to war near the town of Raphia. Diplomacy has delayed the fighting long enough. Ptolemy's chariots and bowmen stand ready to unleash a storm of death upon the Seleucid ranks. Antiochus hopes his powerful phalanx and swift cavalry will teach the Egyptians a bloody lesson. War now looms. Even though he is an experienced leader, Antiochus has been carried away by the thrill of a cavalry charge. He is cut off from the rest of his army. The battle now hangs in the balance. The Seleucid king is in mortal danger, surrounded by enemies.
March!
Antiochus must regroup, or the Egyptians will carry the day. Thessaly, northern Greece. This is the army of Titus Flaminius, camped below the Cynoscephalae ridge. It is morning, and Flaminius has sent a scout party up onto the ridge to survey the terrain. 2 days have passed since the Macedonians were first sighted at Carrhae to the south. There, Flaminius defeated Philip in a cavalry skirmish. Flaminius suspects that the enemy are close by. How right he will turn out to be.
Ready. I'm fire.
Philip has formed his phalanx spearmen into a line across the top of the ridge. It's going to be a difficult battle. Phalanx spearmen are tough to beat in a frontal assault, especially going uphill. However, not all of Philip's left flank is in position. A decisive strike here could be a chance to seize the initiative. To arms, then. To the task at hand. May the strength of the eagle carry the day. Carrhae, 55 BC. The army of Marcus Licinius Crassus marches deep into Parthia. Crassus is in the east, looking for glory and riches. He needs both in the struggle for ultimate power back in Rome. For weeks he has marched after the Parthian army. They are drawing him deep into their own lands. Now the Romans think that the Parthians won't fight, and the Roman cavalry are too far ahead of the main column. They've ridden straight into a Parthian trap. Heavy cataphracts close in. Easily massacre the outnumbered Roman cavalry. Now the Parthian horse archers are free to harass the Roman infantry. Crassus orders his legions to form the testudo as protection against arrow fire. This leaves them vulnerable in hand-to-hand combat. And the cataphracts are on their way. Only the few remaining Roman cavalry will have any chance of routing the Parthian horse archers. Julius Caesar is, by any definition, a successful Roman general and politician. In a series of brilliant campaigns, he has defeated many Gallic tribes and brought new lands into the Roman Empire. His Roman legionaries, veterans of many battles, take pride in their skill and valor. Vercingetorix, the leader of the Avernii tribe, has revolted against Roman rule. For once, Caesar has been overtaken by events, forced to react rather than forge his own destiny. It is now 1 year later, and the rebellion is not yet crushed. At Gergovia, the Gauls are ready, watching the Roman army on a nearby hill. Wary of being ambushed, Caesar has sent Roman legionaries to the far side of Gergovia to watch for any encircling enemies. But the Gauls are equally suspicious and send their entire army to watch over the marching Romans.
Cheer them!
Too far from the main army to allow reinforcement, the small Roman detachment is ambushed and destroyed by Gallic warriors. Seeing that the Gauls have abandoned their camp, Caesar orders his troops towards the fort. As the news of Caesar's attack reaches the Gauls, they move to counter the Romans. And Caesar, in turn, recognizes the new danger and sounds the retreat. But the legions appear not to have heard their new orders. Instead, the Romans charge the fort. Caesar's men suddenly find themselves on dangerous ground, surrounded by angry Gauls. The ram must be protected if the Romans are to take the fort. Perhaps then the tables can be turned on the barbarians. This is the year 9 AD. The place, Germania, beyond the empire's border. This is the army of Quintilius Varus, sent north by Augustus to pacify the Germans. Guided by a trusted local chieftain, Arminius, the legion is heading back to winter camp. But life on the frontier can be treacherous, brutal, and short. Thanks to Arminius, the Romans are marching into danger. Hidden in the forest, there's an army of savage German warriors, fired up and thirsty for Roman blood. As the danger becomes obvious, Varus gallops to the head of the column. He has to get his men back to the fort before sunset. Once darkness falls, the Germans will be able to kill them at will. This is a chance for Varus to prove that he has the right stuff, that he is a noble Roman, and a noble Roman general at that. If he isn't, he'll be a noble Roman corpse by sunset, and no one will get home. The camp is in sight. One last push by the Romans should see them home, but without enough survivors, this will be a black day for Rome and a massive victory for the barbarians.
Forward!